Greg from the Concord Food Co-op is back. It's Friday. How are you?
Doing great as always.
Was it a good Easter at the Co-op?
Great Easter.
Good.
Great Easter.
Good.
Yep. Phenomenal. It's business is better all the time at the Concord Food Co-op, and I think just people are looking more and more for the products that the Co-op offers. So it's the word is getting out.
And I was thinking of you because there was this week we had another meat recall, ground beef recall.
Oh right, yeah.
And I'm going. People are tired of this stuff. Whether it's and we just saw. We did the story earlier this morning about FDA went through ice cream plants,
right,
and found
like
a whole bunch of them.
And I'll give you
were susceptible to listeria, and it's like, oh, don't mess with ice cream. So you got to wonder about everything you're eating: beef, ice cream, whatever.
And last week you said you have your little greenhouse and
yes.
your lettuce is only an inch tall.
Yeah.
However, Generation Farm right up the road in the back country of Concord, they are delivering fresh greens every day already.
So
the local stuff is coming into the co-op.
But see, from now, and now on, I'll do the tomatoes. So everything I eat during the summer, up at the greenhouse. Pulling tomatoes, pulling peppers, whatever. I've got the beans, potatoes, blah, blah, blah. I like that. And I'm bummed when I got to go back to the store in the fall. It's like, but my tomatoes are sweeter.
Yeah.
You know how that works. But anyway, so anything special coming up at the co-op in the near future?
Well, yes. All of next month is, the co-op. A lot of people.
Which is next week, by the way.
So
May's coming fast.
All of May. But because we do record this and it airs on Concord TV and NH1, I do need to say that it's all of May. The schedule is on the Concord Food Co-op's website of demos that we're doing all of next month for the Field Day brand. The Concord Food Co-op, a lot of people, they know us for having fresh local vegetables. They know it, but it's the grocery department that a lot of people neglect. The Field Day brand that we have is organic. It is budget friendly, and so Leslie will be sampling it. Certain things like the pasta sauce. You mentioned it's P&J Day. Well, she's gonna be sampling peanut butter and jelly that they have there. So
great.
The schedule is again on our website, and I would encourage individuals to come in and try those products. It's an opportunity to try it because the Field Day brand, the pasta and sauce, is as good as anything. Is as affordable as anything, and I think that's a very overlooked part about what the co-op offers.
Ooh, that's great. I mean, because it's good, but it's also it's budget friendly.
It's budget friendly,
which would be ideal for organic people.
Well, and Leslie will be on next week to tell us a little bit more.
Oh, good.
Nice.
All right, that's great. That's great.
Do we have anything like bunny bucks in the future? I mean, like woodchuck bucks, raccoon,
not till the fall.
I got to wait that long? Because that was a fun little
the
hook,
turkey.
Well, I haven't come up with one for 4th of July burger box.
Now you're talking.
That's what
there
I'm
we go.
talking
Oh, so I did.
There we go. Now we've got the gears turning now.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. But we're not going to talk about burger bucks, even though I'm more
great idea.
I like that. We're going to talk about chronic pain and mental health, something that a lot of people wish they could forget about every day, and they can't. We've got Dr. Sam in the house. Good to have you back, Sam.
Oh, it's great being here. Thanks.
Sam considers himself an extremely blessed individual to be able to touch people and assist them with their wellness goals through chiropractic after a quarter of a century. That sounds better than 25 years. It's just a quarter of a century. One of the greatest rewards
Sounds
is having
historic.
the opportunity. Excuse me, I'm talking.
Okay, sorry.
One of the greatest rewards is having the opportunity to teach folks how their body works and how to listen to it and properly interpret the signals that show up in the way of symptoms. He can be reached at Dr. Sam at mycommunitychiro.com. He's on your right speaker. Angela Bergen, health psychology PhD candidate. Again, it's not what you know. Who you know.
It's who you know,
Okay,
absolutely.
got that. I know a PhD candidate. And mental health clinician who takes a strengths-based perspective. She's also a wellness educator and consultant, helping healthcare providers implement lifestyle medicine programs into their practice to improve patient outcomes. You can find her online at angelabergen.com. Welcome into this little train wreck that we do every Friday.
Thank you.
It's different. You ready for it?
Yes.
Okay. It's fun. So don't let Greg overshadow. Just jump right in and blurt it out whenever you want. I keep seeing stories, and we do stories on a daily basis. People are becoming sedentary. They're they're eating more. They're not moving, blah, blah, blah. They're stressful, type 2 diabetes. It's like, seriously? and all that can lead to chronic pain, and then it plays old Harry with your mental. I mean, there is A plus B equals C, C plus D equals. There's this chain that we can see, but we seem powerless to reverse it. Why? This is where you jump in.
Yeah, you have a mic. It's on. Go ahead.
I think there's so much interplay going back and forth. So there's the physical health part of it, there's the mental health part of it, and oftentimes individuals who have.
But when I'm in pain, my mental takes over, and I'm bummed. I can't go out and play. I can't do this. I don't feel like I'm holding up my end of the relationship or whatever. So now that exacerbates this, and now it's a twofold thing. So is this really pain, or is it my head playing with the pain? There's a lot going on.
Yeah, there's a lot of interplay, absolutely. And a lot of people in chronic pain don't necessarily think to seek out mental health treatment. That's a big issue, too. They'll focus so much on the pain, and that's what they're treated for with their doctor, and they forget that they can seek out mental health treatment to support the other side of that.
The thing that bothers me about the pain, and I've spoken with pain specialists, is too many people, physicians, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but they treat the pain, not the problem.
They treat the symptom, not the cause.
So, okay, you feel better. You haven't addressed the issue, but you've made me feel better. So now they're running off. They've got a different attitude, but the problem's still there.
But what's the dive? What's the deeper dive into the mental health issues? I mean, it's a distraction. I could see, okay, you have a shoulder issue right now. I mean, I would view that more of as a distraction. But what is the deeper items? What is the deeper psychological factors that can cause?
Yeah, come on, Miss PhD candidate. This is where you step up.
Well, with chronic pain, individuals are starting to experience that limited mobility, or their lifestyle begins to change because they can no longer go out and do the things that they were doing. So as soon as you start not being able to do those things that once brought you joy, then you're starting down this path of some depressive symptoms. And then that will then exacerbate.
Then that kind of takes over.
Yes.
That becomes the thing.
Exactly.
Well, and there was another story this week about seniors who stopped driving. And they said that might be like the worst thing for them because now their independence is gone.
Right.
And now, as you're saying, the whole lifestyle. I used to go down to the fast food place and I'd see Bill and
Get coffee with
Susan,
my
blah, blah,
friends.
blah. And now it's gone.
Right.
And there's no physical manifestation there. It's all emotional. So everywhere we go, it just seems like, oh my gosh, we just seem to be a country of neurotics now. And I don't know. And pain, we're treating our bodies like amusement parks and not temples. And then we go to the doctor, just give me a pill.
Of course, and you've hit on a great point, Peter.
I do that every once in a while. I get lucky.
Yes.
But thank you, Sam.
Today you did. All right. And
I'm taking tomorrow off.
That's one of the biggest distinctions between the medical approach and chiropractic approach, because medicine always tries to suppress a symptom.
Right.
If it's pain, and they've been quite good at that, especially lately, because we have this opioid crisis going on.
Right.
And chiropractic really establishes itself as being very different, and that we try to find the underlying cause to that. And we try to reduce the effect of that on the body or eliminate that effect on the body, because and it's been effective at that for over 120 years. People come into my practice because it's some sort of physical ailment that brings them in. But then, when we start talking about it, they say, well, I can't play with my grandkids anymore.
Right.
I can't clean the lawn like I used to. And I used to enjoy getting out in New Hampshire in the spring to do that.
Yeah.
So we try to get to that underlying cause to make those differences.
Didn't chiropractic, wasn't it some individual in Iowa that started it?
That's right.
Nice. Good for you.
I'm taking Sunday off, too.
So
right.
you see the, I guess, the chronic pain, but what do you personally see as the mental health issues that individuals are experiencing?
You're asking me?
Yes.
Well, there's obviously going to be some distress when they can't do the things that they're enjoying. The mental health aspect is not my area of expertise, but when we start restoring function, restoring ability to stand longer or walk longer or bend easier, then they start to see hope. And there's always hope when we're working with the human body.
Right.
It has an amazing ability to heal and to regenerate and to recuperate.
Right. And chiropractic helps the body to help itself.
That's why chiropractic was developed.
Yeah.
I would think, in some cases, how people react to the physical pain mentally, the mental aspect of it could be a bigger impediment to recovery than the physical aspect.
It can. Mindset is so powerful.
It really is that
Yeah, the
powerful.
power of thought, absolutely. So if we're determined to be in pain or we're determined to not be in pain, I think that can make a really big difference in the course of treatment.
Can you block out pain? Excuse me for using this as an example. I'm embarrassed. I think it was Rocky 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
But he's the manager's yelling at him as he's getting pummeled. No pain. No pain. You don't feel the pain. No. Can you block it out? Can you sit there and go, no pain, no pain, no pain?
There's definitely some relaxation and meditative techniques you can use to really reduce the sensation of pain.
There is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And
I think Rocky's was.
Why
he
am I
was just,
quoting
I think at that point the adrenaline was just rushing.
But
Yeah.
I've heard soldiers that have been in a combat field that have been injured doing no pain. This is my mission. No pain. I'm blocking this out. Can it be that powerful that you can put aside broken arm, whatever the issue is, to focus on this? Is the mind that strong?
I believe with acute pain, I
Yeah.
feel like that's something that's more understandable that could take effect. But considering chronic pain, this relentless, ongoing, day in and day out pain, I feel like that would get really challenging.
Well,
Sure.
especially arthritis, when you're talking bone on bone. When the cartilage is gone, every step you take.
Right, every moment.
Bone on bone, and you've got to do the replacement, and that gives you it's kind of a hokey phrase, but new lease on life. Gets you back to doing with the grandchildren in the garden, whatever. But some people financially or mentally are not prepared to make that leap.
And did you just say that some people choose pain? If that's what you said, if you could say more on that.
Sure. I think there's a certain mindset that if somebody is, in a bad way mentally and they're focusing on that pain and they're bringing more light to it, that can exacerbate further what they're experiencing by, cortisol pathways and stress hormones. There's a certain mindset, there's a certain focus on that mentally that is going to only exacerbate those symptoms.
Well, if you
physically.
accept yourself as a victim and I can't do anything about this, and then you think about it the whole time, you're never going to move to a solution.
Right. And that's where I think mental health treatment can come into play because it can teach you some different ways of thinking about things and looking at things and looking at your body and your state of being.
Sure.
And see, in some cases, if somebody's in pain and Sam's saying, here's your solution, it's going to take a while. I don't want to hear it's going to take a while.
Yeah,
I
nobody
want
does this
now.
day and age, I know.
But if you hear from somebody who's playing the violin that you want to hear, now you're glomming onto their attitude, which is not productive, but it gives you temporary respite. Like, see, they agree with me. I was like, but that's counterproductive.
Well, that's the way our culture has been
Yeah, I know.
conditioned, and look where it's brought us.
I know.
I think that's starting to change. That's
Man, I
definitely
hope so.
starting to change.
I'm tired of the victimhood. My life's terrible because of you.
Exactly.
Or you kept me from being all I can be. That's way too convenient.
Yeah, I know.
I'm hoping people are accepting more responsibility for their bodies, their outcome, and their life path.
With the chiropractic approach, it's always a teamwork approach.
Yep.
I'm not going to bring the solution to this. We're going to work together as a team, and it's going to take a certain amount of commitment. We understand that these processes can happen. They take time. And when people start to hear, well, this is a place of hope for me. Let me see how that goes.
Now, you've had to deal with this for a quarter of a century. People come in and see you, and you say, okay, I can deal with this, but it's not going to happen tomorrow. And the people are going to sit there and say, oh, yeah, you just want me to sign up so that you've got me on the hook. I come in twice a week for 4 months. How do you get that out of their mind to say, no, I'm going to help you, and this is how it's going to happen, but you have spent so long doing this. We need to readjust your body to do. How do you explain that to get them to buy into it, that you're not just doing it for the health insurance?
It's an educational component,
Yep.
granted.
Yep.
It definitely is. And we're breaking through the mindset that people have been conditioned with for generations.
Sure.
In many cases. But it's been happening. It happens effectively. We see these changes happening right now in the culture with the environment and, what we've done as a culture to the environment. And we have to go green with that, this new green movement. I think people are opening their eyes to those possibilities, and the same thing is happening with healthcare. They're saying, maybe there is a different way than we've always done it. Maybe this is a better way.
But it's not going to change tomorrow.
It's not going to change
It's going to
tomorrow.
take time, just like getting yourself better.
That's right.
Because it took all this time to get to this point, it's going to take a little bit to reverse that.
And very often when we find the underlying cause to a situation, we can see that it's been there for a decade or several decades, and there's X-ray evidence to show that.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, so this issue that I'm dealing with, even though it started acting up last month or 3 months ago, I can see the underlying cause has been there a long time. It's starting to rear its head and wave its red flags. Let's get to the bottom of this.
But it's got to be difficult for both of you because people don't know options because they never investigated diabetes, never investigated mental health, never investigated hip replacement, arthritis. I'm skating along. Life's good.
Yeah.
I didn't have to look at this stuff. Now people go through this education process. Okay, what is this type 2? What is going on? What can I?
And how did I get to this
Can I
point?
change my diet? Oh, wait a minute. If I change my, does it do? Then when people are confronted with an issue, then they become motivated. Until then, you ain't selling that to me.
That's the empowerment of education.
Yeah.
You know, we have to be patient. We have to take the time with that.
But somewhat along those lines, I mean, there's so much information that, you know, I on this program, I try to just boil it down to a simple recommendation. And, you know, on a past show, Sam, I asked what was one of your number one recommendations, and you said, go outside. Get up out of your desk and go outside. So that's easy for me to, yes, I can do that. And I have been doing that. And every day it's like, did I just get up and go outside? Do you have another tip for just something that's your number one thing that everybody could do to improve their health that's kind of easy to implement?
Yes, I'd like to expound on that because so often when someone is experiencing pain, we're talking about that today, they say, I've got this pain, I've got to get rid of it. What I like to suggest to people is sit with that pain for a moment, listen to it, and try to see what the body's telling them. You know, it's not like there's pain, I've got to erase it immediately so I can go on. It may show up as a shoulder impingement. It may show up as inability to bend over to tie their shoes or put their socks on. The body's trying to talk to them. It's trying to share its wisdom and delve into it further. And, you know, I think for the general public, their background will only allow them to go so far. So that's when you consult with an expert, someone who knows the body and what it does and how it works and how it talks to us.
To like a fever. Like a fever is just your body saying, hey, something's a little wrong. Let's figure out what's wrong.
Let's fight these. Let's raise up the body's ability to fight this invasion.
All right, Angela, that was pretty deep. Can you beat that?
So same question.
Different angle here.
You're a single pointer that you would say, this is if I could make a recommendation to people to improve their health, it would be.
Yes. And I think mine is almost more of a two-prong. In one sense, I think seeking out somebody, especially maybe in talk therapy for someone suffering from chronic pain, to get that validation, because when we feel heard and we feel that someone is validating what our experience is, whether it's mild, moderate, or pretty severe, that does a lot for the psyche and for us emotionally. So on one hand, it's getting validated from a professional, and that's outside generally of a medical practitioner, maybe more of a mental health provider. But then also going forward and thinking about positive psychology interventions, things like gratitude and finding hope, looking for more optimism. I think, our brains are wired with this negativity bias to keep us safe. So we're focusing on the things that could potentially bring us harm. So focusing on some positive things that we can look for in our day-to-day experience, noticing, small blessings every single day, putting out small acts of kindness, recognizing when we receive acts of kindness. The more we can train our brain to look for positivity, the more positivity we're going to experience.
That's great. What I got out of that, go outside, listen, talk.
Yeah.
There it is. See,
Three words.
Why couldn't you scope it down to that? That was Greg, Angela, and Dr. Sam going to be back in a minute. We have to take a break.
We'll
We'll
do
be
that.
back right after this.
Like we're reaching a wider audience with this program, and I'd like to urge people who are experiencing limitations because of their pain or lack of function to be open to different alternatives. Look into something that you may never have tried before, and chiropractic is one of those safer, non-invasive alternatives that to try to find a solution.
Mm-hmm.
Do a lot of people, one of the things that may keep them from doing it is because it's not covered under their health insurance? Is chiropractic covered?
Chiropractic is covered under most health
Yeah,
insurance
it's getting
policies.
there. Much better than it used to be.
And
Yep.
oftentimes we find some cases where someone will come in with chiropractic benefits, but they have these policies that have a very high deductible. Like they have to spend $4,000 on their health care before those benefits will become effective. And there are cases like that. Or there are other cases as well when someone has a copayment, which is actually higher than an office visit. And when that happens, I mean, what we've done in our office is we put together discounted options that are people will pay cash for their care, which is actually less than those chiropractic co-payments.
So just,
Well, I just don't want the
seek
money.
other options.
I just don't want the money
like
to
you
be an
said.
impediment to,
Yeah.
to treating. That was my point.
We try to remove any of those barriers.
Good. Angela, we want to follow up on Sam's?
Yes, I do. I just want to encourage people like Dr. Sam is doing to seek out that alternative treatment, not only because it will help on the physical front, but also what Dr. Sam is offering is hope. It's mental health hope, whether he realizes that fully or not. Just giving somebody even that timeline to say, this may take some time, but we're working on it, that gives them that smidgen of hope that might make all the difference in the world. So besides just seeking out that physical, component to it, just know too that there is hope, and that's the number one antidote to depression. And so that's just so important. So just really
Because if your head doesn't get in the game, now you've got the body with the pain,
Yes.
and now you've got the head
Out of the game.
out of the game. Now you've got two issues.
Yeah.
And you're that much further away from resolving.
Right.
So, again, clean it up. You get your PhD in about a month?
Yes.
Is there a place where we can go to sign up for a registry to get Angela gifts when she graduates? Yes. Why, yes. The Concord Food Co-op.
Directed
Did you not see that coming? Angela, welcome to the little ship of fools here.
Thank you.
No, but we do get the message out, and it's thank you for coming in.
It's great. My
Sam,
pleasure.
you've been here, and you're even coming back. So thanks.
Always a good sign.
But it's a nice way of getting the message across, and so thank you very much.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank
We
you.
will love
Yes,
it.
thank you.
Greg, you bring the best people to the mic, man.
They want to be here, and I'm grateful for it. It's great information.
Can't say as I blame you. So, any idea what's on the docket next week?
Next week, no. But
We're
on
looking
the break,
ahead to the future.
But on the break, Sam did say that the best, one of the best gluten-free pastas is Field Day.
Nice.
There you go. All right.
Concord Food Co-op.
Thanks, Sam. Check it out.
If you're in the mood for real food, it's Concord Food Co-op.